So first, as I told you, this course is mix of your LTM and WAF module. So in LTM module, guys, we'll be covering 12 topics, starting with your architecture. And the operating system which we are running on F5 is called your TMOS operating system. And guys, where I will say very, very important. That means that questions can be asked in your interview. Trust me, every minute is critical in this class. If you miss anything, you will forget. Even you cannot join, please watch the videos later on. But where I say very, very important, that question will be asked in interview. That is from my 15 years experience which I have in industry. I can give you a guarantee that you can crack any interview if you attend this training with me regularly, plus you keep asking your questions. So in Juniper, we have Junus. In Cisco, we have iOS. And in F5, that operating system is called TMOS operating system. Now, what is TMOS? So TMOS is called your traffic management operating system. And which platform it is built? It is built on your Linux. And I'll be covering this course of LTM in GUI also, plus CLI also, so that you can become good in your CLI also. Another second topic. So I'll give you one by one. In big IP, what are the things we'll be covering? So that you don't have any confusion like what is not covered on what is not covered. I'll tell you what are the topics. So we'll be starting with introduction of the big IP. What is big IP? Big IP is nothing but a product which has been introduced by F5 networks. Now F5 network is not a network company. It has been replaced with F5. Now it is purely a security company. That is why it has a huge demand in market. Because if you don't have security, you cannot do anything. There are new modules which are coming into market, which I have explained you. One is called XC. They have Nginx product also. And now another operating system which is coming is Big IP Next. That will be later, but it will come soon after 2 to 3 years. Topics concepts will be same. Your TCP layer will same. HTTP layer will be same. Only changes which will come is little bit on architecture level. Nowadays, if you heard about Kubernetes, containers, so F5 has decided to build in such a way that you can do automation also easily, plus you can perform management also, plus security is must nowadays. After that, guys, once I covered this, I'll be covering your setup part, like how to do lab setup in your production environment. And trust me, guys, they have a free license where you can practice any features without any need of any paid license. And the same thing which you are doing here on lab, you can implement the same in production environment. Next important point which comes into picture is management IP. Like when, let's say, I got a task to configure F5 from scratch. First thing which I'll go ahead is I need a management connectivity so that I can access your GUI plus CLI. After that, I'll be covering the licensing part. There was a question asked how to do install multiple modules in one F5, or I can say one big IP. So you can also use either separate modules like LTM, GTM, ASM on same module, or you can use separate box depending on your company environment. So that I'll be covering in provisioning modules. After that, guys, I'll be talking about network setup plus how to configure NTP, hardening part, guys. Even you have configured F5, you have implemented it, but hardening is important so that no one can hack your boxes. So that also is an important topic. Okay, guys. So this was first module. Second, guys, I'll be talking about traffic processing building blocks. Very, very important. We'll talk about F5 terminologies. So there are four concepts which you will hear every time: virtual server, pool, pool member, and nodes. So if I talk about virtual server, that I'll talk later on, but it is, you can think it like your client traffic when coming from internet. Let's say you have F5. After that, you have three servers. Right now, you will not understand because I need to first tell you what is load balancer. But you can think like initially when client will hit any website, that is Sianets.com, that is called your virtual IP, or you can say IP address of your website. And your pool members are nothing but an IP address of your web server. So you can say pool member as web server, you can decide it as application server, or you can think it as database server. So that is how your topology is built up. Then we will be talking about packet flow, guys. F5 can be installed as layer 3 device, F5 can be installed as layer 4, and F5 can be installed as layer 7. When I'm talking about F5, it is nothing but an LTM product. And this is the part of your big IP. So big IP is product and LTM is one of the module, which will do load balancer. Now let's talk about load balancer. Initially, what does load balancer? We will talk on that part. After that, a main topic which everyone has is lab setup. I'll be providing you all images. You will also get a lab initial guide so that you can practice. So that will be covered from scratch. After that, another topic which is coming is health monitor. Like let's say F5 is a load balancer which have multiple servers behind it. So that I think load balancer, I'll tell you where you will get it. So load balancer is nothing, guys. Let's say you have 100 of clients connecting on internet. All requests will come to load balancer. Load balancer will then segregate your request across multiple servers. So simple language, load balancer is nothing, but it is a device which will support load balancing algo and make sure that equal distribution of request will happen. Some requests should go to this server. Let's say 10 requests. 10 requests will go to this server. 10 requests will go to this server. Now, one question, can someone tell me? Let's say if I don't have a load balancer and I have like this. I have this client. I have this F5 with only one server. What is the disadvantage? I have multiple clients connecting to the website called cnets.com. I want to distribute the request. Let's say this server can handle only 100 requests per second. Now, what is the disadvantage? I only have one server, but I have thousand of requests coming to this website. Can this server handle it? What can be issue of this? First issue is, guys, performance. You will face slowness issues. Second disadvantage, guys, anyone can tell me? Second disadvantage is redundancy. If one server goes down, I'll not able to access my website, sianets.com. So what happened in this case, guys? When customer first requirement is why you need an F5 load balancer. Anyone can tell me. I told you what is load balancer. Load balancer is nothing, but it is a device which can handle your traffic intelligently, which makes sure that your request of your client load means your client request. Balancer means balancing between multiple server so that one server cannot get overloaded. That is called a load balancer device. Now, if someone asks you, like, uh, if I don't have a load balancer, what will happen? First thing, slowness issues. This is the question, very, very important, guys. You should know why should I suggest a customer with go with load balancer. Second thing, no redundancy. What will happen is you will not have redundancy and customer wants 24 into 7 availability. Hey Vidit, I don't care. I am paying you money. I want 24 into 7 availability of my website. How that can be possible, guys? That can only be possible where you have multiple client requests going to F5. Behind F5, you have multiple servers to handle a request. See, when you access cnets.com, guys, let's take an example. Cnets.com is what? It's a website, but in backend, it's just an application. And this application is hosted where? Can anyone tell me? If you understand this concept, you will understand load balancer. When you access a web page, website, you get a web page where this web page is hosted. That is hosted on your servers. It can be your app server, you can say, or a backend server, also, some people say, or you can say a web server. So they are nothing but they are the web servers which hold your website. Different web pages are hosted on this server. Now, what load balancer will do is this request will come, it will hit F5. F5 will pay, make a decision based on there is a concept called load balancing algo. So there are different topic. There is a separate topic, but a simple example which I'm giving is let's say client hits your website called sianets.com that is hosted on F5. So first client request will go to this server. Second request will be handled here. So what does it means? Load balancer is a device which will load balance your request of a client into multiple servers so that distribution can happen equal. Slowness issues will not come. Even guys, this server will go down. What will happen? Will you still have 24 into 7 availability? Anyone yes or no on the chat, guys? I'm saying that when a client, let's say client 1, let's say client 2, then you have F5, which is called load balancer. I will represent it as LB. Now I have three servers, server 1, server 2, server 3. Now even this server 2 goes down. Will my website still be accessible? Answer is yes. That is why load balancer provides you 24 into 7 availability. Very, very important. Now question will ask how F5 will track whether this server is down, this server is down, and this server is up. Anyone? How F5 will track that this server is down, this server is up. That is a term called health monitor. Now, can someone tell me, guys, what without health monitor, F5, even your servers are down, F5 will still send your request to down server. Try to understand this in such a way that sometimes you face intermittent issues, guys. What is the issue there? People say I'm facing intermittent issue. What will happen? So Mohammad Farooq, don't worry. Your mics are mute. You can reply on the chat. That we will do. Q&A, I'll do it after this discussing. So it's a normal interaction so that you can make it interactive. I'm seeing your chat. You can reply on the chat. If I feel answer, I'll tell you here only. So don't worry. Now my question is, guys, you have client 1, you have client 2, you have client 3. Then you have a load balancer, you have servers behind it. Server 1, server 2, server 3. Now this server goes down. Now this client request comes. Which server it will send, guys? I don't have health monitor. I am telling you benefits of health monitor. But without that, what will happen? If you don't have health monitor, what will happen? So some request will go here, some request will go here, some request will go here. Sometimes website will work fine, sometimes website will not work fine. Okay, in this case, guys, your website will face slowness issues because I want to make sure that F5 sent client request only to up server, not to down server. So that is where your health monitor helps, guys. Trust me, it is very, very helpful features, which is a separate topic later on we'll discuss. Now, guys, next concept, next topic which we'll discuss in course content is virtual servers. I'll show you through packet capture how the traffic flows. So we'll be using Wireshark. So there are different types of virtual servers available. Virtual server is nothing but an IP address plus port number of your website. That is also called VIP. So there are 7 types of virtual server in market. So I'll show you quickly. I'll go into my lab 192, 168, 127.200. That everything I'll talk in my lab environment, don't worry. I'm just showing you. So you just go to virtual server. This is the main critical component. So you just create any of the virtual server. Here you will see different types of virtual server. So I told you like F5 can be deployed as layer 7. It can be deployed as layer 3 device. It can be deployed as layer 4. So that is here you can define types of virtual servers. So that is critical where you can define types of virtual server. So I'll cover each component with the packet flow, TCP packet flow. But before that, let me show you one of the packet flow so that you can understand load balancer more. So when you go here, guys, go downwards, I'll show you the TCP setup. So just understand this setup for 1 minute, then I'll show you what exactly we are talking about. So there, here you can see we have client we have F5, we have pool members. If you understand this picture, you will understand what I was talking about of load balancer. So just check for 2 minutes, then we will see. So there in the picture, you can see client IP, F5 IP, and pool member. So what I want to represent is there you can see TCP handshake. So if you see this, you have there will be two three-way handshake, guys. When I talk about F5 load balancer, there is a concept called full proxy architecture. So there will be two-way handshake. One, you can segregate between client to F5. One packet will be from F5 to server. So if you see, there is a SYN packet, SYN acknowledgement. Once this client side TCP handshake is completed, then only F5 will choose your pool member. So how it is? This is client, this is F5, and let's say this is server. This is one more server. This is one more server. Until this three-way handshake is completed. F5 will not choose your pool member. Pool member is nothing, but these are your one pool member, second pool member, third pool member. So full proxy is nothing, but it will maintain two separate connections. That is how F5 hardware is built or F5 model is built. It will make two connection. One is client side and one is server side. So sometimes people will say whether it's a front end issue or back end issue. So you can say front end is nothing but client to F5. Back end is F5 to server. It is helpful when you take a packet capture. So full proxy is a name given by F5 is to understand both incoming and outgoing traffic. So that it has a full visibility what is coming from client and what is coming from server in and out. Now guys, very important architecture since we talked about full proxy. What is the difference between full proxy versus packet based? I'll talk about that first so that you can understand more about full proxy. Okay, I'll talk about that in after 5 to 10 minutes when we'll talk more on another part. Now, can someone tell me how F5 will choose this pool member on which technology basis? So I was talking about this now F5. Then we are talking about server 1, server 2. How F5 will choose your pool member on which basis? Here the point, can you see LTM chooses pool member on which basis? There is a concept called load balancing algo. So we'll be discussing both static load balancing algo and dynamic. Can you see? This one is completed. Now there is a connection for this F5 to server. After that, HTTP packet. Same packet will be sending to your server. Finally, you will get a web page. So that is easy. Customer says that I'm getting a web page, but you need to understand the back end, how the traffic flows. That is more important. So it's a very good picture. I hope you understood. We'll discuss more on different types of virtual servers, but this was wanted to tell you because we were discussing about course content. And plus I'm teaching the day one, what are the topics I'm teaching with course content so that you can understand. Now, after virtual server, there the concept comes of your load balancing algo. So, so in load balancing algo, I was talking about how F5 will distribute a load. So in this case, you have static and dynamic load balancing. Okay. And you have practicals. We'll be covering everything in practical basis also. How, in which case we should use by default F5, distribute your traffic or select your server based on round robin. That is called RR, round robin load balancing algo. So what is happen? Let's say client one, client two, client three, who are accessing your website, sianets.com. So it will happen in round robin. Client one request will get on server one, client two will get in server two, client three request will get to server three. So that is how normal load balancer works. We will also decide priority group activation. There is a separate topic. Sometimes what you happen is some customer wants that, hey, I have two DC servers behind load balancer. I have two DR servers. Initially, all requests should go to DC servers. If DC servers goes down, then it should go to DR servers. So that is how traffic flows. Okay. Now I'll go further on. Next topic which we'll be covering is profile section. So there we will discuss TCP profile, HTTP profile, FTP profile. Profile is generally nothing, but it will help F5. F5 is by default not intelligent device. You need to make it intelligent. First intelligent process we have understood is health monitor. The health monitor will help F5 to determine whether servers are up or down. Second intelligent technology which we discussed is load balancing algo. Now the third thing which will help F5 to make it intelligent is called profile. Now how F5 will come to know whether traffic is coming based on FTP or whether it's a normal TCP packet or HTTP packet. F5 should differentiate, right? Whether it's a TCP packet or HTTP packet or FTP layer packet. So that is where profile helps. Here, one of the important critical topic which we'll discuss is SSL offloading, where we'll talk about certificates, key, where we'll talk about PKI topic. So that all things we'll discuss on WAF and LTM both. In both the cases, see, most operating system in both are same. TMOS is used in your LTM module. TMOS is used on your WAF module. So SSL offloading. Can anyone tell me what does SSL offloading means? So in F5 there are three technologies. Very very important interview question. First one, what is SSL offloading? Second one, what is SSL bridging? Third one is SSL pass through. Trust me, this will be asked in every interview. So can someone tell me uh, what does SSL offloading means? Or let's start with this one. What is HTTP versus HTTPS? So let's talk about this in diagram for 1 minute because that is a critical topic which I'll be covering. And most of the 30% interview question will be asked based on your SSL. So if I talk about SSL layer, you have client, then you have F5, then you have server 1, server 2, server 3. Now if I talk about, so in this case, first topic is HTTP traffic. Let's say my website is http sianets.com. What will happen, guys? Client will hit on HTTP. Let's say a hacker like you. This is a hacker sitting in middleman. Okay, smart like you people. What will happen? What is the loophole in HTTP traffic? All the traffic, whether it's between client to F5 or between F5 to server, it will be plain text. Let's say if you're filling a credit card number or if you're filling any other number, they will able to read it. So HTTP is not secure. How? I want to make sure that whatever connection is between client to F5 should be encrypted. So there comes a topic called EKI or certificate and key. So that whole topic is called HTTPS. So when I talk about SSL offloading, there you have client connection, you have F5, you have server 1, server 2, server 3. So if I talk about only SSL offloading, SSL offloading means client to F5 will be on HTTPS, and this is front end traffic, and that is public facing, and this one is your HTTP. HTTPS means encrypted, and this is not encrypted, plain text. Because front end should be encrypted, right? Backend can be unencrypted because it is internal. So that is where HTTPS major role comes. Now some people says, hey, with it, what I want is I want client connecting to F5, connecting to my server 1, server 2, server 3. I want with it this to be also HTTPS, this to be also an HTTPS. So this is called your end-to-end encryption. This is also a requirement which comes. So that is called SSL bridging. Okay, guys. So you have a profile section which I was discussing. Here you will apply client SSL. Here you will apply server SSL. And where I can see on F5, you just go on F5. Here you can see. Now can someone tell me? Let's test your knowledge. Here you can see client. Here you can see server. What does it mean? Let's test your knowledge, whether you're active or not. Trust me, guys, I want this session to be interactive. So I'll keep asking question in between. That is my flow. What does client SSL profile means? Client SSL profile means client to F5. What does server SSL means? Server SSL profile means F5 to server. This is front end. Whenever there is front end, it means client side connection. Whenever is back end, this is called server side connection. Okay, so this just note down. If I want only SSL offloading, I'll just apply client SSL. If I want both, then I'll apply client SSL and server SSL. That topic is a separate topic which we'll cover in SSL. Don't worry. Okay, so this was an example of profile section so that you can understand. Another important topic of profile is called persistence. Have you heard about cookie? Have you heard about source IP persistence? Don't worry, I'm here to help you. We'll talk about what is session, what is connection. So sometimes, guys, when you go to flipkart.com, you add something on cart. When you purchase an item, you just add it. So that is where the cookie persistence comes into picture. Persistence means throughout the session of client connecting to F5 to the server, it should go to one server. Even I'm refreshing or I'm not login, it should make sure that end to end should be within same server. If same connection shifted to another server, it will break a connection. That is where persistence comes into picture, guys. I'll talk about that in detail, but this was just a basic. We'll talk about different types of persistence also. Another topic which comes is network address translation plus NAT. So here we'll discuss about how network address translation. This is very important topic, guys. 10% interview question will be asked on SNAT. I'll tell you now why it is required. मग्गू एक तो पैरासिटामोल है ब्लैक वाले बॉक्स से और वो वाली दे दो नहीं वो वाली ये तो रात की है अच्छा उसके अंदर और होएगी now can someone tell me like I'll draw a diagram for you when client hits to F5 then you have servers okay but what are your server gateway let's say client traffic is coming to F5 F5 will transfer to server but server is sending to its gateway IP in this case what will happen traffic is coming here F5 will expect traffic back to F5 only but since gateway is far firewall, what will happen in this case? Anyone? My question is, I have client connecting to F5. Then I have servers. Server gateways are your firewall. Your incoming connection is this way, but your outgoing connection is from server to firewall directly to client. What will happen? There is a term called in routing, asymmetric routing. Excellent, guys. So to make sure that incoming and outgoing traffic both goes via F5, SNAT comes into picture. That is called not source net, secure NAT. And by default, F5 performs DNAT. That everything I'll show you. This was just a course content which I was talking about, and where I feel the topic is important, I was covering in detail. So we'll talk about secure NAT and network address translation. Okay, IAP. That is another topic which will deploy your application in 5 seconds. Let's say your Outlook application you want to deploy through F5 that you can deploy in 5 seconds. There are particular pre-templates available which can deploy your application in few seconds. Like Outlook, SharePoint, that everything I'll show you how to deploy. This one is all about troubleshooting, QKview. It is like a tech support file in Cisco. When you open an F5 case, they will ask for QKview. It is your snapshot file of your all configuration and what is happening inside your box. So it is helpful in tech case when you open a case with F5. Okay. Now, favorite topic which comes when you have upgrades. What is backup? What is upgrade? Software update and patches. Before doing any critical migration, you should take a backup. So that all will be done in a lab. This is an activity which is performed every 1 or 2 months. So you should know how to upgrade your F5 from one version to another version. And it is your daily task for operation, guys. Even for operation, even for design. Everyone should know this. So we'll cover software upgrade, how to open a F5 case, and what are the backup available. So there are two types of backup available, UCS file and SCF file. And it is really, really helpful in migration also. I'll show you how. I'll do upgrade in front of you. Like what is the current version? I'll show you how to upgrade it. In lab environment, you don't need a production. So that is why I told you, right? Everything which you can do in production, you can do the same thing in lab. That is how F5 is lovely. High availability. That is another question which I was asked. Will you cover high availability? Yeah, guys. I'll show you that F5 boxes can be deployed in active standby F5 boxes can also be deployed as active box. Now, can anyone tell me what does active standby box? What is high availability? Do I need high availability? Let's give you an example. I have one client that is connected to F5, that is connected to 3 of the servers. And this is your standby, only single F5. We have seen so far is like if say this server is down, your application will still be up 24 into 7. But did you miss something here? If this bigger box goes down, what will happen? Will my application will be available 24 into 7? Will I able to access Sianets.com? Anyone on the chat quickly? We have F5 single box and this is down. Will I still get redundancy? No, guys. Even you have multiple servers, you still need two F5 boxes. You have F5.1, you have F5.2. What will happen if this box down? All the traffic will go to this box's to server. So one box will be acting as active, one box will be acting as standby. So what does it mean? If active is up, all the traffic will go to F5.1. If active goes down, traffic will start going this way. Blue line which you can see for each client. And there is a communication which have happened, which is a protocol called gracious R. And this is the interview question which I asked in interview that I will ask after this Q&A with you. But this is how your HA is built. HA is means that high availability. So that my connections are always up. If one box goes down, connections can travel to second box. Everything Suraj and all I'll cover in Q&A. Don't worry, I'll take the Q&A. I'll discuss. Now, next one is active. Yeah, F5 can run in active boxes also. So there is a concept called traffic group, which I'll be covering in that. So you have F5.1, F5.2. Both are active. So some client traffic will go to these boxes. Some traffic of client will go to these boxes. Now guys, F5 always suggests that you should run vendor F5. Always suggests that you should never run active box. Any disadvantage of running F5 in active box? Anyone? Any disadvantage of running F5 in active box? Let me see the chat. Connection limitation. Okay, Tejas. So that is where one disadvantage is, let's say this box goes down. Redundancy is a wrong answer, guys. Redundancy will be there. But let's say this traffic was handling 50%. He was handling 50%. Now it has a load to handle only 50% traffic. But if this box goes down, all the connection will travel to this. So there will be overloading. He will feel pressurized because he can only handle this much of connections, but now it has to handle 100%. It does not have anything like this. So that is where active high availability is never suggested, guys. That all things will cover in HA lab. Syslog. Another topic, local login, remote login, high speed login. How to configure logs. Like when you troubleshoot, generally you will see all the logs in where log LTM. Your VIP is going down, your pool members are going down. Also, how to integrate with Splunk. We will see everything in detail. TCP dump is my favorite topic. Let's say some people say that, hey, my website is not working fine. Even my virtual server is up. All my F5 settings are good. How you will confirm whether it's an F5 issue or a server issue? Anyone? How you can confirm that whether you are receiving traffic on F5 from client and F5 is forwarding to server? Is there any way? So there comes a concept called TCP dump. Since it's a Linux utility, packet captures will be reviewed to Wireshark. So TCP dump is a Linux utility to perform a packet capture, and that packet capture can be reviewed through Wireshark. And what is the format? PCAP. So we will see TCP dump, CLI, whole CLI topic, how to do labs via CLI plus GUI, and how to troubleshoot. Very, very important topic, guys. This will help you in troubleshooting your day-to-day issues. That's why you should be good in Wireshark. Whether my TCP handshake is full, whether server is setting a reset packet, that all things. This is about TMOS architecture. I'll be covering that anyways. Another important topic which I'll covering is I rule. And there is one more. Now I rule is also getting implemented. Now people are preferring local traffic policies. Or you can say local traffic policy, guys, where you can make customize. Sometimes you say, hey, my customer say that I want to whatever is coming in HTTP, want to redirect to HTTPS. Customer says that, hey, my one client is using Android. My one client is using Apple. And I have two servers, server 1, server 2. I want Android connections should always go to server 2. I want Apple connection should always go to server 1. So that is where you can make your customized rules. That is a redirection of traffic. Whatever is not possible by operating system of F5, iRule helps you to make your connection flexible. It will help you to detect the traffic and inspect the traffic and redirect. I want IP-based redirection that someone is coming from 10.1.1.x. It should always go to server 1. Someone is coming with 30.1.1.x. It should go to server 2. HTTP to HTTP, there are a lot of concepts which we'll be covering, guys. So this was all about, guys, local traffic manager, guys, LTM. Now I'll just unmute you for 2 minutes. We'll have a Q&A. Then I'll talk about ASM. But before that, guys, I want to discuss little bit on today's overview of day 1. So today we'll discuss about introduction, which we have discussed, hardware and management access. So for 2 minutes, I'll be showing you the theory part, then I'll mute you for Q&A. So guys, this is the certification exam which I was talking about, a path which can make you expert till CCI level. So CCI level is this one. So your basic will start from this. First, you need to clear this, then you need to clear 201. If someone is from pre-sales fundamentals, they can go with 202. If you clear this, you will not get a certificate. But if you clear 101 and 201, you will get a certificate like this, and you will become F5 certified admin. It's a huge value. Once you clear this, these are the prerequisite 101 and 201. You can ignore this 202. Next exam comes as technology specialist. So you can either attend this one or you can directly attend this one for GTM, for ASM, security specialist, and then this. So right now, once you do this, then you can become solution expert. For solution expert exam, you need to clear all this for 5 exam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, you can jump into this. So that is how your certification path is, guys. If you become a cloud specialist, if you become clear this certification, guys, no one can stop you. You will get a double package. And trust me, guys, this journey will not complete until you spend your time also. And I am ready to help you anyway. I'll give you the numbers of students who have cleared the exam, who have cleared the interview. See, I don't prefer words. I only prefer reference. Someone say that Vidit is teaching good. I I will just show you. I'll justify that. It's not like that a fake word will come, a fake feedback will come. Whoever has attended my training, you can ask my feedbacks. Now, guys, when I talk about big IP, big IP is just a module. So F5 is a company which was built in 1992. So that F5 is a solution for application world. So it was, so they launched first product in 1997 that is called load balancer. That was the first product in market in 1997. And it's an American based company in Washington, and they are specialized right now. Previously in 1997, they were specialized in application delivery. I showed you what is application delivery means. Your website should be 24 into 7 accessible. And they provide security also, which is a product called WAF, Web Application Firewall. So LTM is, can someone tell me the full form of LTM? We have discussed LTM again and again. What is the full form of LTM? LTM is nothing. So this basic question, now people will ask in interview. Sir, I have done everything, but I did not crack an interview because your basics are not good. Local traffic manager. Okay. So local traffic manager. So you can have load balancing, SSL, profiles, and everything. So it helps you to provide performance. It makes sure that your application into 24/7 availability. It also provides scalability. And security feature is ASM. So my main role of load balancer is to deliver application reliable and securely to end user. Agree or not, guys? What is my main role as a network and security engineer? As a network engineer, I want to make sure, or as a load balancer, that my application which are hosted on F5, it should be delivered reliable and securely. As a security engineer, it should be security also. But as a load balancer engineer, my application should be delivered fastly and reliably. So F5 product, whether it's ASM or LTM, DNS, it makes sure that your application are delivered in proper way to end user. And this mixed product will make sure that you have performance, you have security, plus you have wherever you sit, it does not matter, 24/7 availability. That was the main intention of LTM plus ASM. Now where comes your GTM, guys? I talked about certification, but what does this GTM means? GTM is nothing. Can anyone guess what is the full form? It is called Global Traffic Manager. I'll just show you if I have a picture for GTM, you will understand. Now, can someone differentiate between picture 1 and picture 2? What is happening in picture 1 and what is happening in picture 2? We have discussed this. So today's first topic was we discussed overview of big IP. Can anyone tell me difference between picture 1 and picture 2? What is happening? Do we have load balancer in picture 1? So it's a router. Client is connected to router. Then we have a firewall. Then we have an application server. What is the issue in this? Anyone can tell me quickly on the chat. When I talk about picture 1, what is an issue? Excellent, guys. All traffic is going via one server. Very good. And what is another disadvantage? First, slowness issues. Second, overload. Third, no redundancy. And how it is resolved? By installing F5 in a recent network. So load balancers are mostly deployed in such a way so that it can distribute traffic across multiple application servers. Some request will go here, some request will go here, some request will go here. It makes sure that a load balancer is a device that can distribute your client request efficiently across multiple app servers. Okay, guys. It can be TCP, it can be HTTP. That is where load balancers comes into picture. Now, can you see GTM here? There are two pictures representation. First one is your LTM box, picture 1, and this is your GTM box. Can someone tell me what is the difference between local traffic manager versus global traffic manager. Local traffic manager means your F5 will be installed in same data center. Your application are also within same data center. Agree? That is called local traffic. But sometimes customer says that, hey, Vidit, I have a US data center. I have a UK data center. When someone access Sianets.com from US, it should go to US data center. If someone is accessing from UK, it should go to UK data center. That is where a concept called intelligent DNS comes into picture, where a request can be segregated based on your country. If it's coming from US, your request will get distributed in US data center. I can say why it is global because your application are spread between data centers. Same application are hosted in multiple data center. That is why it is called intelligent DNS resolution. Only role of GTM is just to resolve an IP. Once an IP is resolved, traffic will come to LTM and it will get load balance. So GTM will have an integration with LTM. Then it will go to final server. Simple pictorial representation I wanted to show you guys. So we discussed what is load balancer. We discussed difference between local traffic and global traffic. WAF, I will come to third point now after this. Now, just 1 minute, I'll show you one more pictorial representation about different hardware modules. So why F5 is popular? F5 can be distributed or F5 can be installed in virtual boxes. They are available in different virtual editions. They are available as a physical hardware boxes and they are available as an hybrid boxes. Okay, guys. So that is very, very popular. So there are, see, as an interview, someone was asking how I can show that I have 3 years experience. I'm not working, but I wanted to show as 3 years experience. Question will be asked in interview, on which big IP platform you have worked. Tell me, can you tell me how many hardware modules you have worked? So you can tell them, you need to learn this. Like first module which on hardware is 2000, then 4000, 5000, 7000, 10,000, 11,000. And virtual edition, this is throughput level virtual edition. F5s are available as 25 Mbps, 200 Mbps, 1 Gbps, 3 Gbps, like this. And this VPN is a in one big box hardware you can install multiple modules. There is a concept of VCMP, cached and host. Is an hardware higher chassis based module. That is very, very important, guys. Okay. So now 1 minute, I'll just show you why is F5 required. Just see this differences. This is the topic which will be asked in interview. Why I should go with F5? Why should I suggest customer to go with F5? First scenario, can you see this? This is a scenario where there is no load balancer. There is no way to distribute load. SSL processing will not happen on servers, which will require high CPU RAM, security risk. There is no WAF, reachability from internet, lot of public IP. So to resolve this, F5 came into picture. Can someone tell me three advantages of F5? We have learned F5 load balancer. Just three advantages, tell me. First one, second one, and third one. Three advantages if I ask you. First one, I can say it is an intelligent traffic management. Second one, 24 into 7 availability of application. It will make sure that even one server goes down, my application should not go down. Third one, SSL offloading. There are many more advantages which F5 provides. Third, fourth one also you can say it has an application visibility. Whole application incoming and outgoing. What is going inside and what is going outside. How your application is performing for user, for real users. All these things will be provided. Okay. This is why F5 is required. This question will be asked in every interview. So these are the advantages which I wanted to highlight. Security, SSL offloading, intelligent load balancing, high availability, and better performance and user experience. Just you can take a snapshot if you want. I'll just give you 1 minute. So that you can just read through it. You can take a snapshot. If you have any questions, you can ask in Q&A after this 2 to 3 minutes. I will take your Q&A. This is again an advantage. And this is how your architecture is. When load balancer comes into picture, what it provides: high availability, equal distribution, server resources. Your application can be protected from attacks. And this is the final topic. Meanwhile, after that, I'll take Q&A. This is how your TCP handshake is built, which I have shown you already. First, three-way handshake is built between client to F5. Then there will be TCP handshake from F5 to server. This can be encrypted. This can be unencrypted. I've shown you. Your front end can be encrypted. Back end can be unencrypted. So this connection does not have any dependency on this one. And you have two planes, guys. Very, very important. You have one management plane, and this is your data plane. If your data plane is down, still you will be able to access your GUI and CLI. So you have a separate SSL engine and compression engine also. You have a full proxy, iRole, and these are the different modules. This is data plane and this is management plane. Management plane does not have any dependency on data plane. This is how your architecture or hardware platform is built. So I will be stopping now and I'll be taking your Q&A. And I'll record that also. So I'll take everyone questions. You can just go one by one.